Okay, so today we are going to talk about, hold on a second. I know what we're talking about. I'm just making sure that the captions are on. Aha, great. I think. Yes, they're on. All right, so today we're going to talk about tactics. So chess tactics are like the toolbox of chess. You have forks, which are not the forks you eat with. However, the multi-pronged aspect of the fork is very indicative of what a real fork actually does on a chessboard. We have spoons. No, I'm kidding, but that would be cool. Um, we have forks, we have discovery attacks, we have double checks, we have discovery double checks, we have pins, we have skewers. If you're thinking about barbecue sticks with skewers, you should be. So let's get started. And then I'm going to show a game involving a lot of forks and skewers, but I'll do it separately in case you don't want to watch a long video. Micro popped. And also, yeah, the first thing I'm going to do is share my screen. Okay, cool. So we are going to look at, no, we are looking at Lichess. I want to show you where I like to go. I often make my own tactics. I generally do, but this is a place where it keeps delivering. So go to lichess.org. It's free. And then you can go, if you're looking to learn different parts, different squares of the board. These are coordinates, but we're not doing that. Anyway, there's a ton of places you can go to. I want to go to practice, and we're going to skip over checkmates. And we're going to go to double checks, okay? And I'm doing this all out of order because my brain's a little fuzzy. We're going to pause on Lichess. We're going to go to chess.com. And I wish this little thing would go away. Okay, cool. All right. And we're going to learn what the tactics are. Then we're going to go back to Lichess. Ready? Sound fun? None of that was necessary, right? Okay, so this is a bishop. The bishop is 3 points. The bishop goes diagonally. Yeah, you're going to get a light squared bishop and a dark squared bishop. And it's going to stick on those squares. So we are going to look at, I know I said this is a bishop and everything, but let's start with forks. So this is a knight. The knight, like the bishop, is 3 points. So where can you move the knight to attack the king, the queen, and the rook all at the same time? So let's highlight all the places the knight can go to. Right, so this knight moves like an L, 1, 2 to the side, 1, 2 to the other side. It can go, it travels 3 boxes. It can go to all of these squares. Well, where my arrow is down here on E1, I won't be attacking anybody. So if I can only go 3 squares, I obviously have to go more than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 squares away from someone. So let's ignore the bottom, okay? So I'm going to ignore the first rank and the second rank, and I'm going to stick with the 4th rank and the 5th rank. Well, if I go here, am I attacking anybody? I'm not even 3 boxes next to anybody. Okay. So if I go here, am I attacking anybody? No, 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 no. Yes, it's a check. Awesome. So checks are exciting, but not all checks are meaningful. Some are meaningless. This would be meaningless, probably beyond meaningless, because you have a really good move that you're ignoring. All right, so we know there's nobody here. We know this is a check. I can go here. I can attack the queen. She can get out of the way. Most likely the king is just going to take me. All right, so, oh, yeah, like that, even though I didn't mean to do that. So this was a no. This was just a check, and it didn't attack more than the king. This attacked the queen and it was dangerous. The king could take us. That leaves this. Ready? 1, 2 to the side. Let's look at C. That's the file I'm on. 5. Okay. Well, am I attacking the rook? Yeah. Am I attacking the queen? Yeah. And am I attacking the king? Yes. So this is a triple fork. Cool. It's a royal fork. So the king has to get out of the way. This is called a forced move. Forced moves involve checks, really. Right. And they're really cool to find because if you can force your opponent to do something, you have really good control of the board. So that's a check. The king has to move. And now you can get the rook for 5 or the queen for 9. So let's go ahead and 1, 2 to the side, grab that queen for 9. Oh no, you lost 3. Well, that's okay, right? So when we start looking at forks and skewers and pins and all the rest of the tactics, we're looking at really small parts of the board. And then we'll start adding more and more pieces to make it more like a real chess game. But when you start looking at things like that, you're starting to grow your brain muscles to look at a board with 32 pieces and to start picking out patterns, looking at files and ranks and diagonals, and then you're going to start to see tactics. Oh, there's a fork, there's a skewer, etc. So while I've been talking, have you cleverly found this fork? Okay, if you think it's C5, you're right. Why are you not moving? Oh no, something's frozen. Okay, 1, 2 to the side, 1, 2 to the side, and 1, 2 to the side. So again, the king gets out of the way. If you go here, you can't take that knight back. So, come back. Ugh. So let's not go there. Go here to protect your rook. So even though you've just lost 5 points, you get back 3. Okay. All right. So, that is a fork. Now let's talk about skewers. So we're coming back, or let's talk about pins. We're coming back to the bishop. So we're going to look at absolute pins and relative pins. I like to say breakable and non-breakable. So I'm showing you the first pin, okay? The bishop, as you might have noticed, is on the same diagonal as the queen and the king. So the bishop is pinning the queen. Whoopsies. The bishop is pinning the queen to the king, okay? So she's going, and the king's behind her going, so sorry about this, or, whatever it is he's saying. This is an absolute pin. It's an unbreakable pin. You can't move your queen out of the way, no matter how much anybody might or might not want to. You're not allowed to put your king into check. Okay, so you can't break this pin. If you're black here, you have an awesome move. You just take the bishop. But anyway, let's say this is actually protected. Okay. Then, you just go here and you lose your queen. All right. So can you find okay. Can you find a pin for the bishop? I'm going to give you 30 seconds on my clock. There are 7 dogs next to me, 10 more upstairs, so there will be some barking. All right, let's look over here. Nobody. But you do have this check, right? Okay, so that's a check. The king gets out of the way. I don't know what comes next. And let's give you a king because that's actually how chess is played. You have to have kings on the board. So, you're down here. This is, probably a draw, right? But let's still try to get this pin done. Yeah. So there's that check here, but it's kind of lame. And now we have this diagonal. So this is where you go right? This is where G5 is where your bishop meets the diagonal that the rook and the king are on. That would be G5. Okay, so you go to G5 and you're pinning the rook to the king. Once again, you can't move the rook because your king is not allowed to be in danger. He's 0 points because you can't take him. So that was not what I meant to do. These keys are so finicky. All right, so you just move your king out of the way and now you have your draw. Yeah, which, you know, you already really had, but whatever. Okay, cool. So now let's look at a skewer. So, or I'm sorry, let me show you a different kind of pin first, and then we'll look at a skewer. Woo! Kings all over. I mean, rooks all over. All right. Sorry. Cool. So, too many knights. All right, so here we have a king on the A file by himself. We have a knight on the D file by herself. Ooh, that was a weird line. Okay. And then we have a knight and a king on the 5th rank together. So this rook has a choice to attack the knight on the D file by herself. Oh, that's illegal. Okay. The knight on the D file by herself, the king on the A file by himself, or it can come down. So if you attack the knight, she'll move away. If you attack the king, he'll move away. If you just come down, this is another type of pin, right? But it's a horizontal pin, not a diagonal pin. So there's nothing that you can do. You can't move the knight. The knight's like, save me, save me. And the king's saying, well, you know, what? Sorry, pal, I can't. I can walk closer to you, right? But that won't matter because poof, check. And now we can go into a king and rook checkmate, which we will eventually look at too.